What will be changing in this patch? First off, we've got the skins. We've got Lord Bifrostheim. That card art looks fine. Charmcaster Morrigan. That's fine. Strix Beast Fenrir. Okay, so an Owl Fenrir skin. I am super down for an Owl Fenrir skin. Works for me. Primal Steel Ares. It looks like Ares has better skins. Spellslinger Soul. That looks cool and different. Eternal Tormentor Zeus. Now that looks like a skin. That right there, I'm into that. I hope that looks half as cool in-game as it does on that card art, because boy golly, that looks pretty cool. Alexandrite Isis. Why do all Isis skins suck? All Isis skins just end up looking like a recolor. That looks like every single other one of her skins. Unbreakable Anher. That looks pretty cool. That looks like a gargoyle Anher. Necromancer Persephone. That's kind of creepy. It is literally a recolor. That's hilarious. There you go. It is apparently an actual recolor. I, once again, stated my point. Everything's a recolor for her all the time. Enchanted Boyfriend Cuchulainn. Okay, that's a little weird. Whatever. Merciless Monarch Oleron. Now that's a good skin. That's a skin. Right there, this guy, Mr. Oleron, that's a skin. Drunk Yard Bacchus. That's a great skin. I love the idea. It's punny. It looks aesthetic. It makes sense. He drinks his oil. I love it. And I saw this one on Twitter. Freezy Chibi Ymir. I'm surprised that it took this long to get a Chibi Ymir skin. I always thought that was kind of the natural progression for all of these, gods that already have 10,000 skins that obviously sell well, and the Chibi skins obviously sell well. Why wouldn't we have a Chibi Ymir? So, about time. Doflamingo is shook. He's ready. He is ready for. Okay. New DLC. What? Get all the Season 7 gods and incredible content for each all year long with the Smite Season Battle Pass 2020. You'll immediately unlock the limited Eternal Tormentor Zeus skin and Eternal Tormentor loading screen in 1,000 gems. The Season 2020 includes the following items: K-Gems, Eternal Tormentor Zeus, Eternal Tormentor loading screen, God Slayer title, provides the following for each new god in 2020 as they are released. Gives you the god, the base recolor, a limited recolor, the voice pack, wave and clap emotes. In the digital deluxe edition, gives you the season pass and the ultimate god pack. So, why would you get this? So you get the gods, which you already get if you have the god pack. So that's gone. You get a recolor. Who cares? You can get it with favorite. You get a limited recolor. Who cares? You get the voice pack, which I guess is free. So that's 200 gems. You get the wave and clap emotes. That's like what, 50 gems? So you get basically the emotes and the voice pack. Does it say how much this costs? I don't see how much it costs on here. Kind of strange. So the only unique thing to the pass is a couple of skins, I guess. I guess there's some skins that are unique. It is apparently around $40. You've heard they're getting rid of the God Pack. Oh. That would make sense. See, this all makes sense if they're getting rid of the God Pack. That would be interesting. You saw a tweet about last days for Xbox players to get the God Pack. So they're going to go away with giving everybody the gods for free unless you already have it. They're going to make you pay yearly, aka like a Rainbow Six seasonal pass type thing. Okay. Classic. It's not a great sign probably, but anyway. January 28th. Enchanted Chronicle Battle Pass. This is update release schedule. Enchanted Chest. Okay. This is all stuff that they're coming out with. When it's coming out. Okay. Stuff the 11th. Who cares? Battle Pass updates. Here we go. Here's something. Removed the Prestige track. No longer has a Prestige recolor skin. Moved the Prestige rewards into the base track. Decreased the Battle Pass required level to reach from level 60 from 75,000 to 60,000. Battle Pass quests now acceptable to all players. Players can now earn a skin in the free track. Cool. Added unique battlegrounds to Battle Pass UI skins. Free versus premium tracks have more clear color differentiation. Increase the number of levels visible per screen from 8 to 10. Chests earned from the Battle Pass are being changed to make them more clearly visually distinct, as they will only be available from the Battle Pass. The Victory Chest change is mostly aesthetic. The Battle Chest is adds a chance for newer exclusive skins that older Battle Pass chests did not have. Champion chests earned in the Battle Pass have been replaced by the Victory Chest. Okay. That seems fine, I guess. Hero chest and Enigma chest earned in the Battle Pass have been replaced with the new Battle Pass chests, which have been updated to include new skins from the Awesome chest. Fine. I don't think I have any issues with this. This seems fine. Free track items. You get avatars, loading screen, avatar skin, steel, adventure title. Premium track items. You get all the good stuff. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Just generic changes to how the Battle Pass is working. Thank you, Ferret, for the 40 months. It looks like they're making it just kind of easier to deal with. Don't seem to have any issues with that. That's fine. New event, Jade Corruption. A new event is launching along with Season 7 and the new Joust map, Jade Corruption. The event introduces a new character who will lead us through an all-new story in the Smite universe. A strange occurrence is happening in China. Jade, the sacred gemstone, usually imbued with healing powers and divinity, has turned into something sinister. Features 3 exclusive god skin bundles. Each bundle contains 2 skins, 2 additional cosmetic items. There's a lot of cosmetics. All players will be able to progress through the questline for free rewards. Buying all 3 bundles unlocks the Poseidon skin. Okay, so this is like all the events they've done in the past. You buy one bundle, you get something. There's a second bundle, a third bundle. You buy all 3 things. You get like the combo bundle pack at the end, which gives you the thing. You buy more stuff, you get more stuff. Open up your wallet, deposit your credit card, acquire cosmetics. You know the deal. There just seems to be a whole lot for Season 7. Look at this. Just lots of stuff. You can buy this and that and the other, and all you have to do is open up your wallet. It's that easy. Like, comment, and subscribe. Smash that Twitch Prime. I get it. Been there. Done that. General. All right, this is a lot of bug fixes. Are there any important ones? Fix an issue where swordsman archers would sometimes stand further apart than intended. Okay, that's cool. Had that bug a lot. Yep. Okay, bunch of bug fixes. Yeah, bug fixes. That's a lot of bug fixes for gods. Anything important in here? He doesn't turn invisible. Cool beans. His third auto attack doesn't match his animation. Love it. Good fixes. Morrigan bug fix, probably. That seems about right. Emoja, she's already been hot fixed. Fix all those bugs. Cool. Bug fixes. Yep. Bug fixes. Skin fixes for bugs. Awesome. Mostly audio fixes. Love it. Just generic stuff. Okay. Generic bug fixes, cool beans. Less bugs is better. Will those bug fixes actually be fixed? There's only one way to find out: when Season 7 goes live. Daily logins will now automatically be claimed when you arrive at the home screen. Cool. Added a new UI element to the acquisition screen to show players which daily reward they claimed. Removed all information about daily logins from the shop. Reward amounts and the days they are awarded have not been changed. Cool. Whatever. Just makes that life easier. Certain elements on the home screen will now be tagged as new to highlight events and content that was turned out throughout the patch. New tags will go away after a section is visited for the first time. All right. Hey, engine updates. Now, this could be interesting. Engineering changes have been made to our build process to improve the installing, storing, and loading of game files. Decrease the update sizes. This will not be present in 7.1. That checks out so far, as a full download is required to PC to pick up these changes. Console will not require a full download, but this update will still be larger than usual to pick up these changes. Future updates in Season 7 should require smaller downloads than they did in Season 6, depending on how much content is changed each patch. Decrease the total install size on PC, cutting it down by almost 50%. Nice. Decreased load-up times and startup times on PC. This could be a significant improvement, faster by up to 1 to 2 minutes. Oh my goodness. It is about time. About time it became easier to log into Smite, man. Smite, straight up, is the game that takes me the absolute longest to log into on my computer. Smite takes me upwards of a minute to open up the client, and every other game takes like 5 seconds tops. So it's about time. Graphical improvements. The high-quality texture pack will now be downloaded and installed by default in Smite, which improve the look of the game at high settings. Maximum will also be improved unless you already had this texture pack installed. I already have it installed. Okay, cool. Nice. Nice. Update surrender vote rules. In 5-player game modes where nobody's disconnected, 1 or more players not voting will decrease the required surrender needed count by 1. This makes games easier to surrender. 3 yes, 1 no, and 1 not voted will now cause the game to be surrendered, where previously it would cause the game to continue being played. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. So if you don't vote, you're basically voting F6. You're basically voting yes now. Well, isn't that nice? Cool. I like that. Just make it a little bit easier to F6. Nothing wrong with that. Cool beans. Added attack the minions VGS line to all other modes. Previously only accessible in Arena. Okay, sure. New minimap icons. Added new minimap icons to depict the only buffed minions and fire minions. Cool. Jungle Camp timer updates. Players will now get Jungle Camp timer minimap information immediately when they view an enemy kill the camp or they view the enemy drop buff on the ground. Previously, this information would not show up until the buff was picked up or faded. Nice. I'm not sure. That's kind of more of a gameplay change than like... It's kind of like a bug fix, but it's also kind of like a gameplay change, depending on the way you wanted to look at it. That's nice, though. So your camp gets dropped, you immediately know the timer. You don't got to wait 30 seconds for the buff to disappear to see the thing come up. That's actually fairly convenient. Oh, God. New skins added to chess. Skins. Lot of skins. Congrats. You've got lots of skins in lots of chests. There's always been lots of skins in lots of chests. Now you've got more lots of skins and more lots of chests. We did it. All right. All modes. Swordsmen and archers in lane will now stand slightly closer together. That is interesting. Depending on how much closer together slightly is, that could actually make certain gods that don't have lane, like big wave clear, actually better. Or like even somebody like Scylla, who often missed 1 archer minion with her 2, now clearing the whole thing. We'll see. Conquest. Oh God. We got a lot of stuff, baby. New season of Conquest comes many changes. All right, let's get it. Added a new objective to the jungle for each team, the Jungle Shrine. The shrine gains a stack for every 3 jungle camp monsters your team kills, up to 7 stacks. So up to 21 camps. Attacking the shrine consumes 1 stack and rewards each player on your team with 5 gold. 5 gold. Don't spend it all in one place. 3 quick basic attacks will clear the shrine of all stacks. Oh, 3 jungle camp monsters. Okay, so 21 jungle camp monsters, not 21 jungle camps. Each team's shrine cannot be attacked by enemy players. Clearing camps in the enemy jungle will contribute toward your shrine's stacks, but at a half the rate. So, you clear all the camps, you go back, you give everybody 30 gold times 5, you get 150 gold for your team. It's like you cleared a wave. Okay. Doesn't seem super important yet. Maybe that combined with Totem, if you're getting 30 bonus gold from your jungler every little bit, if you're getting bonus gold from the Totem, maybe it being like 50 gold every once in a while is like something. Thank you, Boomer, for the resub. Added 2 single alpha harpy camps next to the duel lane. This is over by the purple buff. We saw that in the previous thing. Base health 700, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's fairly tanky. Split the mid XP camp and your oracles into 2 camps. We saw that on the left side harpies. Instead of being a 2 camp, it's a 1 and a 1 with a wall in between. We know that. Removed Gold Fury from the Fury spawn pool after 20 minutes. Okay, so it'll only be red and green Gold Fury instead of the yellow Gold Fury. XP split bonuses increase from 20 to 35 to 20 to 25%. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. So that means that you sharing XP in the duel lane, you're both gaining 5% more XP now, which is huge. Or whether you're mid and jungle or splitting XP, it's going to make XP sharing as a whole better. So that's nice. Adjusted initial speed comp initial jungle camp spawn delays. We knew about this. This is going to be huge, particularly speed and void buff. Both spawning at 20 seconds. Dual lane starts at purple. Mid and jungle start at speed. Nobody misses their lane minions. That's huge. Those are big changes. Everything else also seems to spawn a little bit earlier. Which is actually mid harpy spawn a little bit later. Which is interesting. But on the whole, those are all good changes. It fixes that problem we had where you would try to go, if you were playing mid and you tried to clear speed and you had to perfectly clear speed at the exact right time to then run to the mid lane to make sure that you didn't miss out on that one creep that you didn't get level 2. Now you should have plenty of time. Increase the base health and protection of jungle monsters. Elder Harpies have 40 more HP, a little bit more protection. Small Harpies, 20 more HP. Large buff camp minions, 40 more HP. Thank you, humble dude. Small buff camp minions, 20 more HP. So, jungle camps being a little bit tankier should mean that something like Assassin's Blessing is more important. Having that bonus damage, bonus jungle clear will probably be... the tankier those minions get, the more important it becomes to have that, bonus damage on them. So it'll be interesting to see how that, scales and gets them harder to kill. So that's good. Thank you, Eamon Dude, for the 10 months. So not so bad in the jungle. With the addition of the jungle shrine and more jungle camps, we need to adjust the map elsewhere to prevent players from gaining golden experience and resources too quickly. Killing towers now provides a huge positional advantage to a team, reducing their territory and allowing for more jungle control. Okay, so they're reducing the gold you get from towers. Tier 1 towers used to give 100 gold. Now they're going to give 75 gold. Tier 2 towers used to give 300 gold. Now they're going to give 250. I mean, this basically balances itself out. I mean, when you think about it, one jungle shrine is going to give everybody 30 gold. That already makes that more gold than he would have gotten. And presumably you can get that first jungle shrine down within 5 minutes, which is before you get a tower anyway. So this shouldn't be a big deal with the addition of the jungle shrine and those other camps. You should still have more gold than you're used to having. Except, why would you go for a tier 1 tower any more early game? You'd rather rotate. Well, I mean, the tier 1 tower is still important for positioning, right? You take that tier 1 tower down, now that person has to be way more careful. They have to ward in different spots more defensively. They have to stand near their tier 2 tower. It is still important to get the tower down, but less from a gold perspective, more from just a straight pressure perspective, which is good. Azir's with a top hat, baby. It feels great when your solo laner gets the totem for the team. Yep. It feels... When I see my solo laner get the totem, I think, boy golly, we got this game in the bag. 25 gold, too much for me. Decrease the team gold. I was joking. High res, I was kidding. The buff was, it was not too strong. Okay. Decrease the team gold from 25 gold to 20 gold because obviously it was too strong. The MP5 buff scales over time with 3 tiers. 10 MP5 at 0 to 5, 20 from 5 to 10, and 30 from 10 to 15. Okay, so they literally nerfed the totem. So, fine. You know what? Whatever. Sorry, solo laners. I guess the totem was just too much impact on the match. That's a weird change. Whatever. Anyway, I guess it kind of evens out with the jungle shrine and the extra camps and stuff. Guess it's kind of in the same vein as like nerfing gold towers or tower from gold. What? Nerfing gold from towers? Just getting a little bit more gold off the map because they keep putting in gold on the map. That's fine. Jungle buff changes. Blue buff is losing its flat mana regen and instead getting MP5 as mana gets lower. Blue buff removed flat 20 MP5 increase. Now grants plus 2 MP5 per 10% of missing mana. Okay, so it works. What? How's that? Blackthorn Hammer? I think it's Blackthorn Hammer that works the same way. No. What am I thinking of? There's an item that works just like that. It's not Blackthorn Hammer, is it? It's something. Something works just like that. Hey, is it Hydra's? Okay, thank you, NB baby, for the 35 months. Do appreciate it. So basically, yeah, that's actually a pretty big nerf to blue buff. That's a pretty significant nerf. You will definitely feel the mana deficit in the solo lane from that. That's a significant mana reduction for the solo laner. Chat is saying that they've already changed that and reverted it a little bit. So, chat is saying that instead of plus 2 MP5 per missing mana, it's now plus 3. So apparently they changed this, and this is now plus 3 MP5 per 10% of missing mana instead of 2. So apparently they've already buffed that buff because people were complaining. Cool. Red buff is seeing a simple damage nerf. Removed 5% Power bonus versus enemy gods. Dang, son. That is a big nerf. That's a big reason why red buff was so strong. Gave you those thick damage. I mean, 5% is actually a fairly significant amount of damage. So that's a pretty big nerf to red buff. Speed buff, which is definitely yellow, okay, is gaining a new stat of CCR. Ooh, speed yellow buff now adds 10% crowd control reduction. With blue buff and red buff getting nerfed and speed buff getting crowd control reduction, speed buff might have just become the best buff on the map. So CCR, for those that don't know, basically all it does is it reduces the amount that you can be CC'd by. So theoretically, if you had no CCR at all, except for yellow, so you had 10%, and you got stunned for 1 second, instead of a 1 second stun, it would be a 0.9 second stun. It reduces the amount of time that you were in CC. That's strong for junglers. You add that on top of the fact that it gives you, 5% movement speed plus 2% or something per jungle minion up to like 3 minions, so 11% movement speed. Like, that's not bad at all. Thank you, Kirk, for the 2 months. That's a good buff. Finally, the purple buff is being adjusted to provide less protection reduction and instead provide a combination of attack speed. Removed plus 2 protections reduction per enemy god within the aura radius. Removed 5% additional protection reduction. Added 10% attack speed. Okay. So the purple buff will now give a flat amount of penetration, much like the way that Void Shield and Void Stone do. And give attack speed. So it'll do both. So you get AoE pen, plus you give attack speed. That is really nice. That is both nice for the support to pick up, to buff him in his ADC. That's also really, really good for the hunter to pick up by themselves. You know, just giving themselves flat out 10% attack speed. All right, then. That's a really good buff, too. Speed and purple, really good going into Season 7. Joust, baby. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know anything about Joust, so here's a bunch of Joust changes, but I don't really have a baseline for how important this is. So there's new NPCs, we got new art, delayed damage camp spawn, added 33% XP split bonus. That seems like a big deal. Invasion penalties, 50% gold and XP reduction upon killing a jungle minion on the enemy side of the map. So they're doing the same thing they did for Conquest. Reduced team gold rewards of towers, like Conquest. Phoenixes, like Conquest. Looks like they're trying to reduce some Joust snowball. XP decreased from minions, but gold goes up a little bit. Generic XP reduction across the board over here for Joust on everything. They're changing the buffs a little bit. What the heck? Red buff and Joust increases magic power and physic by 10%, plus an additional 10 magic power, 5 physical power. Thank you, Tastic and Ender. Blue buff will now give 20 MP5 and 10% cooldown reduction. And the yellow buff will give 10% movement speed. They pretty much made XP sharing better, so less single player snowball and made it if you lose first blood fight, you don't lose the game. Speed buff for 10 seconds upon leaving the fountain. So it looks like they kind of, honestly, did a little bit of the Conquest changes to Joust. They kind of factored in some of the things that were working in Conquest and threw them in Joust. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. Duel. Titans now have the same base health value as they do in Joust. Okay. Movement speed buff. Movement speed buff. Cool beans. Added all that. Everybody gets the nice portal from their tower. I hate being sick. Somebody make me not sick. Okay. It's time for Season 7 Ranked. Is it, though? Through Season 6, we experimented with adjusted queue times, how and how often we reset, how that impacted matchmaking, and the experience as a whole. Experience as a whole, not my favorite. We plan to use that knowledge learned from these experiments to really bring the best ranked experience possible. The first major change is that when a new split begins, players' MMR will not reset with it. Instead, we will more heavily be adjusting variance. Variance is something we have mentioned in blog posts of old, but we're making it a visible stat to give players a clear view of what's happening. Simply put, variance is how well the system has narrowed you down onto your skill level. The higher it is, the quicker you'll move up and down through the ranks until the system has enough information about your skill to feel confident about your MMR. MMR is the absolute metric when it comes to matchmaking, but variance controls how fast you can move to your true skill rating. Rather than resetting and losing out on the data we've gathered over hundreds of matches, we'll be increasing the variance at the start of each split. If you have improved as a player, this will allow you to climb and improve it. If not, no big deal. Variance should decrease as you stay at the same MMR. This should allow for healthier matching in the long term and opportunities to prove a new level of skill rather than having to climb every 2 months. The final large change is around the God leaderboard. Resetting this leaderboard so frequently made it difficult for players to have enough time to really show their skill with a particular God and show off their fancy border. We want to extend that window, giving more time for bragging rights as well as fiercer competition. That's actually good. Okay, that all sounds good. More transparency on how ranked works is good, on how you gain points is good. Increasing the amount of time that the God leaderboard is around is good, because previously all the God leaderboard meant was that you mained that character, and that was it. There wasn't enough time. All it meant was that's the character that you play in ranked, and you don't play anything else. So, variance will be visible in the same way that MMR is on the ranked profile page. It will update every match. It can reach a cap of 5% after many games played. Higher variance results in larger MMR changes based on win and loss. Variance decreases the more matches you play. Makes sense. Makes sense. MMR will no longer be reset at the start of each split. I don't think it got reset in the last 2 splits anyway, so that's not really a change. Variance will be reset, yep. This provides a more stable environment. Sure, changed each split gem rewards from 50 wins to playing 50 games. That's nice. God leaderboards will now only reset at new season and at mid-season. Also, okay, those are all good changes. I don't see anything that would bring me back to ranked from that. I still don't see it being interesting enough, but those are good steps. Good steps in the right direction. I don't have any problems with any of that. I still think the biggest problem with ranked is simply not enough people play it. So the queues are too long and the games aren't matchmaked close enough because there's just not enough people that play it, because people want to play Joust in Arena, and that's fine. Onward to the blessings. Specialist Blessing / Evolve Specialist Blessing now provides plus 10 HP 5. Okay, so that is still not, so that's not Conquest. That's just, that's a blessing that can't be bought in Conquest. Here we go, into the item changes for Conquest. Guardian's Blessing is intended to empower support players who choose to assist. Solo lane players found that using minions and towers to kill a target granted them an assist, and when combined with a passive playstyle was safe and effective. The health and mana restored by this item will now require players to stand near an ally. They've removed the MP5, removed plus 7 HP and mana restore per minion assisted, now provides plus 7 HP 5 and plus 7 MP5 while within 60 feet of an ally god. Lasts for 10 seconds, refreshes duration when near an ally god. Okay, so that could still be good. That could still be okay for support, but definitely absolutely garbage for everybody else. As long as it still has the extra like GP5 and stuff on it for getting it stacked, that's still going to be important for supports because you're going to be gold starved as always. But it also means, you know, keep your hunter alive because if they die, you don't get any bonuses. So don't let your teammates die or, you know, run away from you. Assassin's Blessing. Increased damage versus jungle monsters from 35 to 40%. Okay, that makes sense. We talked about it. They're making all the jungle camps stronger. So it makes sense that they're going to buff Assassin's Blessing to do more damage to jungle camps. Once again, to be noted, having Assassin's Blessing, when they make these jungle camps stronger, it might be really, really, really important to have Assassin's Blessing now. We'll have to test it to see. But jungle camps might end up being like super tanky, meaning you have to have this Assassin's Blessing to effectively clear the jungle. So probably no more like tier 2 boot start, you know, for junglers coming and killing you with tier 2 boots Thor. And you're like, oh boy, thanks. Vision Shard. We know about this one because it was in the pre-patch patch. This is really cool. It's a new relic that you start with at the start of the game. It takes your second relic slot. At level 12, you can replace this with any other relic, just like you can now. It gives you a ward for a 1-minute duration, and it's on a 2-minute cooldown. They don't give a gold reward. You can teleport to them. They do count towards your normal ward limit. In replacing Vision Shard while it's on cooldown, we'll share the cooldown with the new relic. So this is really cool. Basically, everybody starts the game with wards. Everybody on the map has wards. There's going to be 10 wards out on the map, which is awesome. So you get vision everywhere, which is going to make ganking a lot harder, going to be rotating a lot harder, which means that the individual 1v1, 2v2 fights in lane are going to be way more important because everybody's going to have way more vision on the map. Love this change. Love it. I love this change too. I know about this one. Hand of the Gods is back. It is back as a consumable, not an active. And they fixed everything that was broken with it. It costs 100 gold. You can only carry one at a time. It deals 150 true damage around you and only affects jungle monsters on your side of the jungle. This is a strictly anti-invade item. Your jungler will probably buy this. The support will probably buy this to clear purple. You guarantee for 100 gold securing your objective or your first buff. You get invaded. They can't steal with this because it doesn't affect your side of the jungle. So for 100 gold, no matter what, you can guarantee you get your first camp. Pretty nice. Or if nobody shows up to your first camp, and this is probably crucial, nobody shows up, you save it, you do this, you use it on the next camp to clear that camp faster, so you get to mid lane level 2 faster, so you get a gank off faster early game. Okay? So, it's just for the early game to get that little bit of safety. They are reworking Potion of Power. Okay. Magical and physical power potions are being reworked into a single potion. This is being done to streamline the effects. Okay. Also makes it easier to find new consumables like Hand of the Gods in the UI. 70 magical power, 40 physical power, 10% CDR for a 5-minute duration or until killed. Okay. Congratulations, physical characters. You can now get 10% cooldown from your potion. Beforehand, only magical characters got that cooldown. Now physicals also get cooldown from that potion. So, that's actually nice. That's real nice. Chalice of Healing. Here we go. These effects no longer stack with each other, baby. You cannot stack Chalice of Healing and Healing Potions. The Fountain Volume will now overwrite all heal potion effects. Love it. No more supports, no more solo laners, double stacking potions and giving themselves a ridiculous amount of regen. So you either buy the Chalice of Healing or you buy healing potions. You don't buy both. If you're going to buy a Chalice of Healing, that means you're buying multi-pots. Or, you have a Baron's Brew or whatever. Same thing with Chalice of Mana. You can no longer stack your Chalice of Mana and your Mana Pot. So if you're buying a Chalice of Mana, you're not buying Mana Pots with it. You're buying either health pots or multi-pots. Whatever. Cool beans. No more stacking those OP potions. It was so strong. Chalice and Healing Potion together was legit too strong. 500 hit points over 25 seconds was too much regen. Too much. All right. Into our neutral item changes. Mystical Mail, baby, getting a change. It's difficult to purchase due to its high price. It comes at a high price due to its effective defense combined with strong early offense. We're lowering the cost of Mystical Mail to make it easier to rush. Decreased cost from $2,700 to $2,450. Decreased its health from 300 to 200. So, they're making it less tanky so you can get it online early to actually make use of its passive before its passive becomes useless. I like that change. That's interesting. Might actually make it viable to build into Mystical Mail earlier in the game to get that bonus damage going. Should be interesting. I like where that's going. Witchblade. Increased health from 200 to 250. So just a little bit of buff to the old Witchblade. Just trying to make it a little bit better, I guess, for countering attack speed characters. Maybe you don't feel so bad about having to build into it, You don't have to feel like, oh, well, I've got to build Witchblade even though it sucks. Even though it's a pretty good item. So just a little buff there. I already liked Witchblade personally. It was one of my favorite items if you had to get, something with that type of aura. Because like Midgardian Mail always felt kind of sucked. So I like it. Still good. Shogun's Kusari. Increased attack speed aura from 20 to 25%. Okay there. Well, a little bit more attack speed on Shogun's Kusari from 20 to 25%. Attack speed on the purple buff, 10%. Now we're looking at 35% attack speed. Talisman of Energy gives attack speed. Fafnir gives attack speed. We have a lot of attack speed opportunities. We have an active that gives us attack speed. I don't know. Everybody gets attack speed. A lot of opportunities for attack speed now in the Conquest map. Lots and lots and lots. Sovereignty and Heartward provide strong defenses, but also sustain that can be important when it comes to extended fights. Rather than boosting raw defense, we want to highlight this additional utility, bringing up their HP 5 and MP 5 respectively. Sovereignty HP 5 from 25 to 35. Heartward MP 5 from 20 to 30. Okay. That's not bad. 35 HP 5 is a lot, actually. That, particularly since the Guardian's Blessing situation, got a little kind of nerfed. Grabbing Sov, particularly when you're, like, rotating through the jungle to get to another lane to go help out, this might, help regen, back up that HP that you were missing from some poke and lane. That actually could be really nice for Sovereignty. I like it. I like that a lot. Heartward, I'm still not sold on. I've never been sold on Heartward quite as much as Sovereignty. There's just standardly more physical damage anyway, and objectives do physical damage. So, like, Sovereignty helps you a lot against, like, the Gold Fury in towers and stuff, where Heartward doesn't. So, I'd expect to see a lot of Sovereignty picked up. Heartward still only, against a thick magical team, which just isn't that popular. Maybe it is. Maybe they're going to do a bunch of crazy stuff. Dynasty Plate Helm will now have a tier 3 counterpart. Oh. The Tyrannical Plate Helm. We've updated the cost and stats to better match it. Cost decrease from 17 to 1400. Magical power decrease from 50 to 40. Physical protections remain at 30. Added 50 health. Removed 10 magical protections. Okay. The tier 3 helmet already got nerfed. Nice. So what did it give before its nerf? For 2,400 gold, it gave 85 magical power. Nice. 40 physical protections. Nice. 100 health. 20% CCR. And a passive. If there are ally minions around you, they gain 20% max HP and 20% attack speed? Whenever an ally minion dies around you, you gain 5 power per stack up to 6 last 5. What? That seems busted. Okay, so chat was saying that they've already nerfed this. I don't know how they nerfed it, but I can tell you right now, that's busted. Like, completely busted. 20% HP and attack speed is busted. I'll get to the nerfs. Okay, so they at the end of the patch, they talk about things that they've already changed. Cool beans. Yeah, that, I presume that probably got knocked down a notch. That probably got toned down a little bit, I would say. Stone of Fall. You're telling me that Stone of Fall got reworked? No way. That's impossible. Stone of Fall has been waiting for a rework for a while. Yeah, it hasn't gotten reworked at least in a couple of months. The goal of creating an anti-burst item was a valid pursuit. Sure, but you just didn't do it. All right. Cost increased from 2,300 to 2,600. Increased power from 70 to 100. Okay. Magical protection remains at 40. Cooldown reduction remains at 10. You gain 20% of the magical protections of the nearby allied god with the highest magical protections within 70 feet. Okay, that's different. That's a strange item. So, hypothetically, let's throw out a random number. Let's say our support built 150 magical protections. That's fine. You're standing next to him. 10% of that would be what? 15? So 20 would be 30. So you would get 30 magical protections on top of your 40 magical protections. Okay. It's all right. Thank you, Pinga, for the 39 months, friend. That's okay. All right. Well, I mean, 100 power is really good. That's it's different. I could see it being viable. I still don't know if, like, I still don't know how good magic damage is going to be this patch, but I guess we'll find out as we get more into the items. Ring of Hecate. Mage ADCs have been asking for this item for a long time. A dedicated magical power item with attack speed and lifesteal. This will allow mage ADCs to round out their stats nicely. 2,600 gold. You get 80 magical power, 20% attack speed, 12% lifesteal. Hitting enemy gods with basic attack gives you 1 stack of 2% lifesteal. Stacks up to 5 times, lasts for 5 seconds. So potentially 22% lifesteal. Nice. There it is, baby. Your souls, your Chronoses of the world, your Freyas, baby. That's gonna be strong. You throw that in with your demonic grip and your Quanger Banger, and your Telkine's Ring. That's some nice attack speed, magical auto attack Runeskies right there. Okay. That's good. Ooh, another new item. Chiron? I'm calling it Chiron. Chiron's coin is a 20% magical penetration item that focuses on long-term investment and extended engagement rather than raw upfront burst. Cost 2,700 gold. 80 magical power. 20% magical penetration. We're calling it Karen. It's Karen's coin. It's Karen's coin, and she doesn't want to part with it, okay? Especially not if it's a tip. Karen doesn't believe in tips. 20 MP5 and a passive. On God kill or assist, a coin is flipped. If it's heads, you gain a stack of 7 HP5. If tails, you gain a stack of 2% movement speed. Each stack can stack up to 4 times, and at 8 stacks, it evolves. You also gain 1 gold. Thank God it would have been garbage without my 1 gold. Evolution. On God kill or assist, a coin is flipped. If heads, you gain 150 health over 6 seconds. If tails, you gain 5% movement speed for 6 seconds. You also gain 1 gold. Interesting. Okay. 80 power, 20 pen, 20 MP5. You need 8 stacks. They give you HP 5 and movement speed. And then it gives you health or movement speed. I actually kind of like that. Especially with what they've done to pen items. With what they've done to percentage pen. With not having to necessarily buy Obshard anymore. Because all these magic items are giving pen. This might be a pretty decent replacement for just a flat Obshard. It could be kind of cool. Definitely worth testing. Could be interesting. Removed Shaman's Ring. Can we get some Fs in the chat? Can we get some Fs? All these years later. All this time. All this time. We just didn't know how to fix, how to get Shaman's Ring in its rightful place. So they simply kicked it out of the game. It didn't have a home. It just couldn't find out where to go. Shoes of the Magi. Decreased cost from 1,600 to 1,550. Nice. Removed 10 magical penetration and increased the magical power from 55 to 75. Okay, depending on what they do to cooldown boots, that's going to be good or bad. Let's see. Increased cost of cooldown boots from 1,550 to 1,600. Okay. I like that. Okay. That balances out the boots a little bit better. That gives them a little bit more evenness. So that's decent. 75 magical power right off the bat. I mean, depending on if there's some more cooldown added to kits, maybe we don't need Shoes of Focus anymore. It looks like both might actually be viable on different gods now, which is good. All right. Obshard added 10% magical pen, removed the passive. We knew Obshard was getting crazy changed. Increased the gold from 2,300 to 2,550. It's pretty expensive. It now has 20% magical penetration. And they have reworked the passive to your first ability cast gains 10% magical penetration. This can only occur once every 10 seconds. Honestly, unless I'm missing something, I don't see a reason to buy Obshard. with all the pen that all these items are going to be giving now, percentage-wise, I don't see a reason to buy Obshard with all the other cool stuff you can get and get penetration anyway. You can get up to 40% pen. That 10% pen does go over the 40% cap. But unless we enter into a tank meta where you really, really need to go over the cap, I don't see a reason to go over 40% pen. So, Spear of the Magus. Increased magical power from 65 to 75 and rework the passive. They reworked it from your damaging abilities, reduce your target's magical protections by 10 for 5 seconds, to subsequent hits of the same ability deal 5% increased damage, stacking 6 times. I mean, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good on the few characters that would properly utilize it. You know? Your Goobies of the world, your Merlins of the world. 30% bonus damage on those ticks. I mean, I can definitely see... I can see that being good. So... I mean, those only characters that truly have lots of bleeds, damage over times, Raijin, Gooby, Merlin, etc. I can definitely see them getting some good utilization out of this item. Other people, probably not so much. Zhong Kui Ultimate in 1? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I could definitely see that being good. So, situationally, this is going to be on a very limited amount of characters, probably. Very limited. Pythag's Piece. Added 10% magical penetration. Removed 10% cooldown. Okay. That's like a decent swap. That's fine. Okay. So... Typhon's Fang, added 10% magical penetration, decreased magical power from 80 to 70. That's a huge win for Typhon's Fang. 10% penetration for 10 power, that's a big win for Typhon's Fang. That's a massive buff. Makes that way more viable to pick up. That's a big win. Soul Reaver, increased cost from $27.50 to $28.50. Added 10% magical penetration. Decreased magical power from 130 to 110. Pretty neutral trade there for Soul Reaver, I would say. Still going to be good on those gods that proc it a lot, like Agni. Pretty neutral trade. Staff of Mirrodin. Added 10% magical pen. Decreased power by 10. That's a good trade for Staff of Mirrodin. That's a win. That's a buff. Sorcerer's Staff, reduced base health from 175 to 100. That's a fairly large nerf to that, tier 2. Okay. Warlock Staff is one of the items gaining some percent magical penetration. This item has traditionally been a high health option for mages that often dictates the meta or is ignored. We're pivoting its focus from being a high defense choice with some offensive capability to a high offensive choice with some defensive capability. This should help it see more general use with lower risk of a tanky meta. Added 10% pen. Okay. Reduced base health from 200 to 150. And adjusted the passive from plus 3 health and plus 0.5 magical power per stack of 100 stacks for a total of 300 health and 50 magical power to plus 1 health and plus 1 magical power per stack, a max of 75 stacks for 75 health and 75 magical power. Okay. So that's interesting. So it gives you a ton of power, a little bit of health, and some pen. That could be decent. I could see this item being decent on characters that, evolved. Okay, here we go. So now it gives 140 magical power, 225 health, 200 mana, and 10% magical pen. I could see this being a fairly respectable item on characters that have easy stacking times. Kukulkan, Ra, Poseidon, characters that stack super easy and that just throw down their ability and leave the wave to go farm the jungle or rotate. I could see actually liking this because they'd get it stacked really quick and effectively and they wouldn't even have to really think about it. Characters that have to stay to clear the wave over a long period of time, probably not for them. Probably more for the cuckoos of the world. Spear of Desolation is getting an increase of 10 power. Cool. Spear of Desolation is already a good item, and now it's one of the few remaining flat pen items in the game for mages, since they reduced the other stuff, so makes it even more viable. Rod of Tahuti increased magical power from 150 to 160. 160 magical power is a lot of freaking magical power. That's a lot. 150 was already a lot. 160, plus the fact that you get that bonus when they're below 50% health, that's a lot of power. That's good. Soul Gem, increased power from 65 to 80. Might make Soul Gem a little bit more viable. You basically never see it except on like Nuwa, for the ulti proc. Not bad. Okay, Polynomicon, increased power from 75 to 85. Well, we already talked about how attack speed mages are loving their life with that new Hectate ring. Well, now their Polynomicon hits you just a little bit harder than it used to. So they're going to like that quite a bit. Chronos Pendant was just underwhelming. The potential extra cooldown reduction is nice for some gods, but in general, the high penetration builds made it difficult. Okay. Decreased its cost from 28 to 2,700. And increased its power from 90 to 100. Nice buff. Okay. Minus 100 gold cost, plus 10 power. That's a nice change. Particularly with the fact that it looks like it's going to be a little bit harder generically to get cooldown and build now. Maybe you're picking up power boots instead of cooldown boots. Pythagoras doesn't have cooldown on it anymore. Some of these things have, pen on it instead. Having a big cooldown item might be pretty important. So, that's nice. Plus 10 magical power to Telkine's ring. Really? So, magical attack speed characters are getting bonus Telkine's ring damage, Polynomicon damage, a whole new item dedicated to them, bonus attack speed from their purple buff, magical ADCs seem like they're gonna be pretty good. Yeah. That seems pretty strong. Oleron and Freya have entered the chat. Yeah. Cool. Restored Artifact is the gateway towards some of the highest power options, but was exceedingly difficult to build towards with not much power behind it. Decreased price from 1,600 to 1,400. Increased magical power from 50 to 60. Oh, that's very strong. Okay. So, everybody, instead of starting Bancrofts, what we're doing now is we're starting Restored Artifact with our health and mana pot. We're getting the power in MP5, and then we're rushing a Chronos Pendant for 20% CDR. Oh, that's going to feel so good. Ooh, that's going to feel real nice. Can't wait to be Scylla, dude, and just root you with no DR, baby. Just whoop, whoop, whoop. Gonna feel so good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Enchanted Ring. The ring tree additionally held the attack speed items for magical ADCs, but oddly enough, it did not provide attack speed. Decreased 5 magical power, added 10% attack speed. That's a nice little buff to that tier 2 item. So that tier 2 branch enchanted ring moving up into the other rings, 10% attack speed bonus for getting that tier 2 is very nice while you're waiting to finish that tier 3. That's a wonderful buff once again for magical attack speed characters. That's huge. Demonic Grip. Decreased the passive magical protection reduction per stack from 12% to 10%. Okay, so that's a little nerf. That's a little nerf. That's okay. They got plenty of buffs. 2% reductions, not that bad. It stacked up to 3 times? So instead of being 36% at max, it's 30% now, if I recall correctly. Still okay. Wardstone, reworked passive from enemy gods within 55 units have their magical protection reduced by 8 to enemies within 55 units have their magical protections reduced by 5%, which could theoretically be a buff in the late game. Void Zone, increased magical power from 20 to 40, nice. And reworked passive from 15 flat pen to 10%. Okay, I actually don't mind this. Basically, preventing early burst damage onto squishies by flat reducing their penetrations, but potentially buffing this item in the late game against tanks. I actually like that change on the whole. Last burst damage early game, better sustained damage late game. Cool. I like that. Nice change. Stone of Binding, decreased physical and magical reductions from 15 to 10. So once again, that is a flat penetration nerf. If you haven't been paying attention, there's a theme to this patch, which is flat penetration has been nerfed and removed from the game out the wazoo. And percent penetration is getting introduced and buffed throughout the wazoo. So less burst damage to squishy characters, more damage to full-blown tanks. New item. I'm calling it CAD Shield. Contagion provided a long since requested mirror to Pestilence, allowing for flexibility in composition encounters, while physical healers are more niche. Augmenting your team's heals can be quite potent. CAD Shield is intended to allow physical gods to bring this utility previously only provided by Rod of Asclepius. 2,500 cost. Branches off of Warded Shield. 30 physical power. 35 physical protections. 35 magical protections. 100 health. Pretty decent stats. Aura. Ally gods within 70 units have their healing increased by 10%. Not bad. If you have taken or dealt damage in the last 5 seconds, their healing is increased by an additional 15%. 25% bonus healing? 25%? That's a lot of healing. That's a lot. Son, Guan Yu and Hercules are like, Lord, give me strength, for I am going to full heal whenever I want. Your anti-heal means nothing because your Divine Ruin, instead of reducing 40% healing, is now only reducing 15% once I get this online. Woo, baby! That's pretty good. I would say that's pretty strong. Pretty good item. Pretty good. Does that in Asclepius stack? I would have to imagine it doesn't. I would have to imagine it works kind of like the way that Pestilence and Contagion do, which is to say that they wouldn't stack. Quote unquote, same item, if you will. They said it doesn't? Cool. I didn't think so. Curse Blade. Blade Tree has 2 items that were defensive and utility oriented and 2 items that were more debuffed. So we're splitting it up. Okay, the Curse Blade gives 75 health, 5% movement speed, 10% attack speed. Not bad. So they're just giving you 2 different tier 2 trees to build into that then build into the next item. Fine, whatever. Not that big of a deal. Gladiator Shield. Reworked passive from only triggering once per ability to subsequent heals after the first from a single ability. Only heal for 50%. Glad Shield nerfed. Finally. Now when an ability triggers this heal, subsequent heals and ability will only heal for 50%. Peace out, Arthur, and your stupid full healing with all of your stupid abilities. No more of that. Solo laners are going to actually be gankable before the team fight stage. The way that it should have been, the way God intended. All right. Void Shield. Similar to Void Stone, we're going to provide, yep, cool. Increase protections from 50 to 60. That's a buff. From enemy gods have their physical protections reduced by 20 to enemy gods have the physical protections reduced by 15%. That doesn't seem like a total nerf. And then this is 8 and 5%. That seems really strong. An extra 10 protections in a 15% aura penetration? That's strong. Void Shield ain't going nowhere for Season 7. That's a good item. That item makes you tankier and makes you anti-tank. That's a good one. Go ahead and buy your Void Shield. V strong. Yeah, it'll be weaker against squishies, of course, but stronger against tanks. Silver Branch Bow. Increase the power provided from the passive from 1 to 1.5 physical power. Well, that will require a little bit of testing, but there's kind of an idea there. I'm trying to think if like somebody like Apollo had it, you know, with his passive proc, maybe with the purple buff that also gives you 10%. Maybe there's something there. That's just an item that straight is going to require testing, no way around it. But there could be something there with Silver Branch Bow. But 100% just going to have to test it and try it. Executioner, getting the same nerf that the Demonic Grip did. We knew this was coming. Decreased passive physical protections per stack from 12 to 10%. So instead of being able to burn 36% protections, you will be burning 30% protections. Just a generic nerf to Executioner and Demonic Grip because they were, in fact, the best items. The nerf on Exy apparently was already reverted. Interesting. I don't know how much. Well, normally I would say I don't know how much I agree with that. But there was a lot of magic buffs. So apparently the Titan's Bane change also got changed back. So apparently this has also all been reverted. So no point to even look at that. Apparently those are both back to normal. Cool beans. Thank you, chat. So Executioner and Titan's Bane are apparently the same. Hydra's Lament. Decreased additional damage after basic attacks from 50% to 40%. That was necessary. Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever got hit by, you know, like a Thanatos. Maybe he ultied you and then auto-attacked and then scythed you and then auto-attacked. Or maybe a Hunbats combined this with his passive, so it was basically like getting hit by 2 auto-attacks at once. It's a pretty good item, you know? It'll still be a good item at 40%. It was way too strong for its price at 50%. That's a better spot for it. Poison Star. Increased power from 20 to 30. Okay, don't see that really making a huge difference for the old Poison Star. Wind Demon, increase attack speed from 10% to 15%. Don't see that making a massive difference for the Wind Demon. Malice, now provides 10% cooldown reduction. Okay. I could see that. Maybe you're running a Cupid or an Uller. Maybe you're running Transcendence and Fail Not, so you had 30% CDR and you were looking for something to get that last 10%. Now you pick up the Malice, you stack that crit with your Fail Not. You get that bonus cooldown now on your 40% when you're switching. Yeah, I can kind of vibe this. I can kind of see where they're going with it. Kind of, lean into that, maybe a Surcat, exactly. A Surcat would probably love this, she leans into it with a Deathbringer Malice. Yeah. Couple Assassins might like this. Couple Hunters might like this. Good change for Malice. That might make Malice very good. Soul Eater. When this item evolves, it now provides an additional 5% physical lifesteal in addition to the physical power and the ability lifesteal effects. Okay, so just a little buff for Soul Eater, because Soul Eater was kind of garbage. We'll see how it goes. 5%, I don't know if it'll make all the difference in the world, but it might make enough difference for characters that potentially kind of already like Soul Eater, like the Pele's and the Camazots, of the worlds that already factored in well with this item. It might put them over the edge to just go ahead and buy it. Lono's Mask. Decreased damage dealt from minus 25% to minus 20%. Decreased healing done from minus 25% to minus 20%. So they're trying to buff the mask, trying to make this a little bit more enticing for those, tanky assassins and whatnot to pick up. I don't know how much it will, but maybe like a Neja or somebody that factors in really well with that could make that work. Fighter's Mask. Removed the 10 penetration, increased power from 20 to 30, and magical power from 50 to 60. I think that's strictly, once again, part of their removing a flat pen thing that they're on for Season 7. They're really just reworking penetration for Season 7. Like, that's the big change. Flat pen is out. Percentage pen is in. Which almost makes me feel like building protections up to a certain point will be more effective than just building all protections. Like, I feel like they're really, really leaning into like building hybrid. Like maybe you grab like a Mantle of Discord just to have a little bit of protections. And then you just like stop there and just kind of build aggressively. It'll be interesting to see how this lack of flat pen changes the meta. Yeah, I'm feeling very hybrid buildy coming in. Rangda's Mask. Removed the flat pen and increased the powers. Yep. Goodbye, flat pen. I hardly knew ya. Yeah, hybrid force or a lot of health. Or a lot of health. Good hot take, friend. Yeah, exactly. I like where your brain went with that. Smart thinking. Okay. God balances. So we knew the changes with Odin. We've already gone over this, but we'll go over it one more time. Odin's 1 and 2 are not changing, but his 3 and 4 are. His 3 is now a charged ability. The longer you hold down the ability, the more that it does. Every 0.7 seconds, it changes runes, and you pulse out damage around him, slowing enemies for 2 seconds. When you release your spear, it travels forward, damaging enemies and stopping on the first god hit. The first rune causes allies around Odin to gain attack speed for 3 seconds. The second allows the spear to home on the enemy god, and the last rune allows it to stun. Pulse damage, 45 to 125, that's pretty good. 20% slow, that's pretty good. Damage, 90 to 330 plus 75% of your power. Attack speed, 30%, and a stun duration of 1.2 seconds. That ability is busted. Busted with a capital B and a big old bitty busted. That is absolutely fried. Chad is saying that ability has been nerfed already. It better. It better have been nerfed because I don't even have to get into a game to let you know that that's busted. Holy cow. All right. And his ultimate has been reworked. He summons a wall of spears that block enemy movement. Enemies inside the ring cannot heal, as you know. Enemies are immune to slow. Odin is immune to slow and root effects while in this ring. A portion of the wall can be destroyed when hit by 5 basic attacks, think kind of like Kabrakan Wall. Enemies that leave the ring through or over the wall, whether you use Phantom or jump over or whatever, are chased by the spear, taking damage and becoming slowed for 2.5 seconds. Enemies that die inside the ring of spears grant Odin a permanent power buff. Damage 140 to 420 plus 75% physical power. That's very strong. Duration up to 6 seconds. Reduces all your healing. 25% slow. Physical power buff 5 per stack, max 10 stacks. That is a strong ability. Odin has so much damage now. Odin's 1 has great base damage, his 2 has great base damage, his 3 and his ulti have great base damage. I say build Odin full cooldown, full tank, and let your base damage do all the work and one-shot everybody. That's what I say. That seems really strong. Odin is now an assassin. Bastet also got a kit rework, for those that don't know. Her passive got changed. Now when you hurt people, they will be marked, and for 3 seconds, they will leave a path of blood. That gives you an extra 20% movement speed, lets you chase them to wherever they may be going. Think like Arachne 3, pretty much the exact same ability except for passive. Her 2 just got some nice FX changes. Her 3 and ulti got completely reworked, just like Odin. Thank you, Scott. Bastet sends a cat forward at her enemies. If a cat finds an enemy, it ensnares them, damaging them and briefly rooting them. The cat persists for 4 seconds or until defeated, continuing to attack nearby enemies. The cat's attacks will apply a 2-second slow to the enemy. If Guardians of Baths, which is her ultimate, is active, she'll command her guardians to also charge forward. Root damage, 200 plus 65% physical power. The cat does 20 to 40 damage an attack for 30% of your in-hand power. Cat hit points is 2, so 2 auto attacks kills the cat. The root duration is for 1 second, and the slow is 25%. Not too bad. Definitely better than her ability she has right now. Yonder we wander. Bastet calls her loyal guards to her side. This is her new ultimate. These guardians will follow Bastet's order, assisting her in any ability she casts. When these guardians deal damage, they'll deal a percentage of the damage Bastet would have dealt. 30 to 50% percentage damage, and it lasts for 12 seconds. This works on all of Bastet's abilities, her 1, her 2, and her 3, giving you some extra pa-pow on your abilities. Think of it like set-ish. It's just a giant stem for all of your abilities. It's a big fat stem. A nice stem, but a stem. Boring, but good. Achilles, please tell me he's getting nerfed. Achilles is getting decreased physical power on his Radiant Glory the 2. Decrease the buff from 10 to 14% to 6 to 10%. Beautiful Achilles nerf. Absolutely wonderful. That's a great start. Achilles will still be good, but I will take any Achilles nerf that I can get. I am not greedy. I am gracious for any nerfs to OP characters. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Artemis time. Artemis has fallen out of favor recently. You're dang right. She has increased power scaling from 40% to 60% on Suppress the Insolent. Okay, I can see that. Ooh. So, wait, though. If the minions are close enough together, remember the minions are standing closer? If the minions are standing close enough together for her to hit the whole wave, plus she builds into like a Transcendence, all of a sudden, maybe Artemis has a little bit more action going to her. I wouldn't go as far to say it's going to make her meta, but the idea is there. Although, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know how any of the hunters are going to be able to keep up with the magical ADCs. Outside of the major hunters right now that I think are very strong. Anher, Heimer, Uller, Cupid. Like, those 4 will probably still be okay. But outside of those 4, I still feel like the Oleron, Sol, Kronos, Freyas of the world are just going to be like mind-blowingly strong with all of those crazy changes to them, you know? So we'll see. Baron. Increased base damage on his Vivid Gaze from 60 to 240 to 80 to 240. Okay. Go ahead and increase that base damage for his lane clear. There's a reason why you don't see that much Baron right now. It's because his early game sucks and we're in a snowball meta. Hopefully the snowball meta starts to go away with the Season 7 with some of their changes to, you know, making invading less lovely and enticing. And plus 20 damage to his ability is good. That's his lane clear. That's nice. That's a good buff to his lane clear. Could help Baron out quite a bit. Kukulane. Increased power per level from 2 to 3 on Berserk. Increased rage gain per god hit from 16 to 26 on the ultimate. Wow. Okay. That's actually interesting. That means basically you pop that ability and you're immediately going to be raging like no matter what. So you don't even need to prep your rage. You just go in, you hit like 2 people with that, and you're in full rage mode instantaneously. Plus, you don't, you know, with that blue buff nerf over there, you don't need mana. Mystical Male buff, don't need mana. Raging. Kukulane. Expect to see a lot more Kukulane with all of those little changes. All of those. Freya. Decreased magical lifesteal from 15% to 10% plus 0.25 per level, capping at 15. So what they're saying here is, hey, Smite community, we introduced a magical lifesteal item. Freya already has magical lifesteal. What we're going to do is just go ahead and tone it back a little bit, but still give it to her at the end of the game. Freya's going to be an absolute monster. Even with this change, Freya will 10% bonus attack speed on Freya early game. Plus the tier 2 items for magic give that 10% lifesteal. Plus she's going to get the item with lifesteal, which eventually is just going to be more lifesteal she had right now. She's going to be busted. She gonna be a busted. Okay? Take my word for it. Guan Yu. Increased base attack speed per level and mana per level. We're buffing Guan Yu? Have they seen my Guan Yu middle? Okay. And they're increasing his attack speed. Yo, Guan Yu's attack speed is legit, like, awesome. He's got, like, really good auto attacks. And when they increase your auto attacks per level, it means you're more effective with auto attack items, which means legit grabbing like a auto attack item, even if it's something like a Crusher on Guan Yu, might be legit really, really strong. Because his 4th auto attack is huge damage. Huge, like a ridiculous amount of damage. Okay. Interesting change to Guan Yu, definitely a buff. Hades. Increased base HP by 25. Increased HP per level by 5. This ability now provides Hades with 10% damage mitigation at all ranks in addition to his protections. Guess who just became a thick boy? Wow. That's going to open up some build paths to go a bit more aggressive on Hades. That is very strong, ladies and gentlemen. That is really, really, really strong. Wow. Okay. Well, your boy is playing some Hades in the next patch. I'm grabbing me a Warlock Staff, which is giving me HP and damage and pen, and I'm coming for each and every one of you. It's going to be great. I love it. Heim Dollar. I swear to God, if this isn't a nerf, I'm going to freak out. Decrease physical power scaling per stack from 3 to 2% on his passive. Good. Decreased physical power scaling from 95% to 85% on piercing sight. Good. Decreased initial hit physical power scaling from 110% to 90%. Good. Okay. So, everybody look at these 3 nerfs. Heim is still way too strong. This is great. I'm glad that he's getting nerfed. I'm glad that Hi-Rez is on the same page that he's too strong. But his Horn is his best ability, and it didn't get nerfed. And his auto attacks hit way too hard. So, it's a start. But absolutely, in no way, shape, or form do I want you to think that Heim isn't one of the best gods in the game still. Because Heim is one of the best gods in the game still. He would probably be the best god in the game, but Umoja exists. So. Alright. Izzy. Decreased damage from 35 to 115 to 30 to 110. Decreased magical power scaling from 40 to 35. Alright, that's fair. So reducing her lane clear. Making her not quite as strong at level 1. It really won't affect her end game that bad. It'll probably just affect more that early burst damage at level 1 and 3. But she'll still be strong. Still be good. Just a little bit less on that lane clear. It's a Nami. It's a Nami buff? For me in Season 7? For Papa? Increased return projectile damage from 25% to 35%? 10% bonus damage on my auto attacks? Reduced cooldown from 16 to 12 to 14 to 12 on my spectral projection? Ooh, that makes me feel good inside. I can't wait to build my new Icky-Vault with my 1 proc and just light your booties up. Your booties are being lit up. I'm going to full clear the wave with my bonus damage, and then you're getting deleted back to the fountain. And it's going to be a fun time. Cannot wait to play Itsunami. God, I love her. I think she's a fun character. Jing Wei. Decreased air movement speed buff from 20 to 15%. Good. Decreased movement speed buff. Okay. Air from 30 to 25. Regular from 20 to 15. Decreased landing range from 55 to 45. Good. Hopefully, Jing Wei will actually be killable now. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's actually not possible to kill Jing Wei unless she's like stunned. Because she can just move halfway down the lane without even thinking about it. And then it's immediately back up and she flies back to lane. It's a disaster. Those are good changes. Good. Nemesis. Increased physical power scaling on Swift Justice from 30 to 35%. Honestly, I was going to say I don't really feel like Nemesis is going to change that much. But I almost wonder if the fact that everybody can just build so much flat pen now, I wonder if that makes her ultimate worse. Because I feel like people are going to be building less tanky, meaning that her ultimate is going to take away less protections. I almost kind of wonder if she got inadvertently nerfed by the fact that I feel like people are going to build less protections because they're going to be less effective because everybody has so much more percentage pen. I guess we'll see how that works out. That's kind of a stretch, but I could see it. Thank you, Cough Baby, for the 27 months. Nike buff. Increased base HP 5 from 7 to 10. Who cares? Increased damage on Rend from 50 to 170 to 60 to 180. That's actually a big deal. particularly at level 1, because that's 3 times. That's a 30 damage buff. That's 180 damage level 1 ability now. That's huge. Barrier Formation. Increased refire damage from 60 to 285 to 80 to 305. That's also a fairly big damage buff. That's a lot of damage. I can see Nike being good. You buff anybody's early game, you make them more viable that early. I mean, that's like a full wave clear on Rend, baby. So, I can see Nike being very good very quickly. Might see a lot of Nike and Kuka lanes over in that solo lane here at the start of Season 7. Rama, baby, give him a buff. There we go. Base movement speed increased from 365 to 370, so 5 flat. That's okay. Rama now starts the match and respawns from death with a full quiver. That's more of a quality of life thing. Astral Barrage decreased mana cost from 100 to 140 to 80 at all ranks. Okay. Okay. That's fun. I mean, it's a buff. I don't know how big it's going to be. We'll have to do some testing. Once again, Rama, one of those characters that has a bunch of built-in attack speed with his 2. Does Silver Branch Bow end up being good? Maybe. Maybe. I guess we'll find out. Sir Cat, please be a freaking nerf. I'll do anything. Thank you. Decreased damage from 60 to 140 to 50 to 130. Good. That ability's stupid. Decreased damage and added physical power scaling? 180 to 660 to 140 to 500 plus physical power scaling. This ability still does true damage. So, they're nerfing Tank Circuit while potentially buffing Damage Circuit depending on how much power you have. Okay. Good. So they're trying to get rid of, full tanky support Circuit. That's great. Because that is, to be honest, the most annoying version of Circuit was her level 1 invading tanky support nonsense. I'm okay with that change. I'm okay. Works for me. I like it. Wukong. Master's Will now applies an attack speed slow along with the movement speed slow. That's a pretty significant buff. Somersault Cloud. Increased damage from 200 to 400 to 200 to 500. That's a pretty significant buff. Extra 100 damage at level 20. Okay. Little bit more anti-attack speed. Hunter magical ADC. Little bit bonus damage. Good support. Good buff for Wukong. Support Wukong, anybody? Lane clear. Attack speed, movement speed slow. Stuns and knockups. More base damage so you can build tank. I'm thinking it's coming. Thor, just be a big nerf. Anvil of Dawn. Increased cooldown from 90 seconds to 110 to 90. I mean, it's a nerf. And it's good. Nerfing global ults is always nice. But, I'm really feeling like we're not understanding what makes Thor broken. Okay, so here's the deal. So Thor, hear me out, has an ability that does all of your health. And it's not his ultimate, it's his one. It's on a fairly low cooldown. It's a movement ability that gets him right next to on top of you like a dodge G3. That also does all your health. That also is a perfect auto attack cancel. That also perfectly goes into his 3, which is a very quick burst ability, which once again leads into a perfect auto attack cancel. That combo is very strong. And I understand that Hydra's got a 10% physical power nerf, but 10% physical power doesn't really matter when you never made it to the final auto attack to begin with. So I know that he can 100 to 0 you with the ulti into the combo, but I actually don't mind that so much as I mind the fact that he can full combo me with a 2 and then 2-1-3 and then I'm dead anyway. If he could not one-shot me without his ultimate, I would much prefer that. All right. January 10th, PTS balance changes. Since the Season 7 patch notes, the things that we just read, the PTS has gone live. We've received tons of feedback. And we've made more changes. Okay, so they've continued to make changes. Pounce decreased the base damage from 80 to 340 to 80 to 300, so a nerf to Bastet already in the PTS. Razor Whip decreased base damage from 30 to 110 to 30 to 90 for a total damage of 120 to 440 to 120 to 360, so already nerfing Bastet damage. Apparently her ultimate giving her way too much damage, so they're already nerfing her down. Let me guess. They nerfed Odin 3 already. There's no way that they didn't possibly nerf Odin 3. There we go. Gungder's Might decreased base damage from the pulse from 45 to 125 to 35 to 115. Decreased the physical power scaling from pulse from 30 to 20%. Decreased physical power scaling on throw from 75 to 65%. If I recall correctly, I wasn't so concerned with the base or with the scaling damage as much as I was with the base damage that led into the base damage of all your other abilities. That still seems way too busted. Like, way too busted. But what do I know? I'm just a streamer idiot. That seems way OP. Achilles? Oh, another nerf for Papa. Decreased damage from 50 to 210 to 50 to 190. Radiant Glory, decreased healing from 24 to 40 to 20 to 32. That seems like, knock on wood, Achilles might actually be in a decent spot now. With all of these changes, Achilles might actually be in a respectable spot. We'll have to do some testing, but that's looking pretty decent. I swear to my lord, if Susano got buffed, don't you dare. There we go. That's what I like to see. Decrease physical power scaling per tick on Jetstream from 30 to 25%. Increase the cooldown after teleporting from 8 to 10 seconds. Thank you. Thank you. That's not enough to make him stop getting played, but at least his clear is a little bit nerfed, so it'll take him a little bit longer to get to your lane and kill you. Just a little bit longer. Good. Conquest blue buff. We had a lot of feedback regarding the solo lane and PTS. We agreed to more adjustments. So this is what we talked about earlier. They increased the MP5 per 10% missing from 2 MP5 to 3 MP5. So a small little buff on the blue buff over in the solo lane. Still an overall nerf to that blue buff quite significantly, but not quite as much anymore. Dynasty Plate Helm getting his price increased from 14 to 1600. Okay. This is the item that just looked so busted. So let's see what happened. This item brings a very new and unique effect, but it's a strong strat spread and was overshadowing. Yeah, okay. Fixed an item description error where it listed 10% minion attack speed rather than the actual 20% increase. 20% is the intended number and it's functioning like this in PTS. Well, we're keeping that attack speed at 20%. Seems really strong. Increased cost from 2400 to 2600. Decreased magical power from 85 to 70. Decreased minion health bonus from 20% to 10%. So it still gives your minions 20% attack speed and 10% health. I don't know, man. You buy this item on a hell. You heal your minions. They're charging forward with bonus movement speed and a heal and attack and a tower. I feel like this could be really good. Like, not only do I feel like it could be really good, I feel like it's a mandatory pickup inherently. I feel like any item that gives your minions 20% attack speed and 10% health even if it just ends up being like a solo lane Chang'e that picks it up or whatever, I feel like at least one person on your team literally has to pick up this item for late game pushing, you know? You stack this with like a fire wave minion or an Oni minion wave, like, dude, those minions are going to be so strong wrecking towers. You have to. Stone of Foul. Decreased magical power from 180. Okay, so it got nerfed right back down. Instantly nerfed. That's fine. Hide of the Nemean Lion. Increased physical protection from 70 to 75. Decreased damage reflected from 25 to 15. That's a huge nerf. That's a massive Nemean nerf. Not only is that a massive Nemean nerf, that's a massive crit buff. So now, if you really want to counter crit, you really, really have to buy Thorns. So if you buy Thorns, I can still see you buying Hide. I can still see you buying Hide if you have Thorns to make your Thorns basically more effective. But if you don't have a Thorns, I almost don't even see a reason to buy Nemean Lion. Because what's the point? So, comboed with Thorns, sure. By itself, nah. Also means that characters like Kuzenbo are going to be stronger because they have their reflect in their kit. It means like characters like Bellona are going to be stronger because they can disarm you. So think about that in mind. You know, keep that in mind. We talked about this earlier. They reverted the change to the Titan's Bane Executioner and all that. Rage. This buff is being added to open up Hunter build paths. Decreased cost from 2,400 to 2,300. Increased crit chance per stack from 2 to 3%. That's a lot of crit. 45% crit for 2,300 gold? So just to let everybody know, Rage will be getting nerfed before that goes to live client. There is absolutely, positively, no way that 2,300 gold, 45% crit makes it to the live client. That's just not going to happen. That won't make it. Don't worry about it. They're definitely going to be nerfing that before. We've got 2 weeks before the planned launch day for Season 7, which means we've actually got about 4 weeks before the patch goes live once you factor in delays. But tomorrow, when I play some PTS, it looks like I may be possibly playing some Itsunami 110% scaling autos with 45% crit on just one item with a Deathbringer. So might go ahead and be checking that out on the old PTS, ladies and gentlemen. But on the whole, lots of cool changes. Lots of craziness. Auto attack mages are looking crazy strong. Hunters with buffing Rage and nerfing Nemean are looking crazy strong. Overall, tank item nerfs with all this introduction of percentage pen. I think the start of Season 7 is looking like a damage/burst meta. I'm thinking no heavy tank builds. You're looking at maybe hybrid builds at best. Items like Void Shield that are giving you damage and defense. I'm thinking very little straight defense. Items are going to be effective with all this percentage pen. So you're really looking for the ability to dish out damage while tanking a little bit on your warriors and guardians. And your hunters and mages or whatever, you're just going to be doing so much crazy damage. So definitely looking at lots of attack speed. A lot of attack speed characters, you know, your hunters plus your mage hunters. You're going to be looking at a lot of them. So items like Creeping Curse to reduce attack speed, Witchblades, Midgardian Mails, you know, all that stuff probably going to be pretty strong in order to reduce those attack speeds, because there's now additional attack speed in the game with like the purple buff and stuff. But definitely going to be very interesting. We'll be playing PTS hopefully tomorrow, guys, if it's up, is the plan. And we'll start getting that uploaded to YouTube as well for those of you that can't necessarily make the streams.